Welcome to Spotlight, a new podcast from Durham's Into the Light. I'm Charlie, local poet.
I am Alex, local theatre blogger.
And my name's Brodie Jobson, and I am an actor from Ensemble 84.
Lovely stuff. So Brodie, tell us a bit about what you do over at Ensemble 84.
So over at Ensemble 84, we are a group that has just started. We've only kind of came around in this past year, and we look at lots of different kind of theatre pieces. So we've just recently done Mother Courage up at Live Theatre. We are currently working on a classical Shakespeare piece, and we work on lots of different mouthpieces a lot of the time. We like to tell a story and to kind of push a lot of emotion and points across to our audiences about world events a lot of the time, and what's going on within the world, but people get to see it through theatre and things like that.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Yeah. And so your most recent work has been a Brecht piece, Mother Courage. Tell me a bit about how that was at Horden, in Horden.
So we started that off, to start off with, in Horden Methodist Church was the first place that we performed that piece. And it was a great piece to perform, especially everything that's kind of going on in the world and stuff today. We found it really relatable to kind of world events and things like that. And we had the massive privilege of working with Lee Hall on this project as well. So the whole Brechtian piece was adapted by Lee Hall. So he adapted the whole entire thing, changed it from the language that it was in into northeast kind of Pityatta language, because we're all, a lot of us from Horden, Peterlee area, and we're known as Pityattas, which is obviously where the pits were built and stuff like that. So a lot of the language was changed into that. He also brought over his sister company, Ensemble Ensemble. He brought a lot of people over from there who are unbelievable. And these have toured the world. They've been to Italy, they've been to America, and performed in all these massive theatres. And we learnt a lot from them. Like, they came in and just took us under our wing and showed us how to do it, if that makes sense. And they clearly done a really good job, because after we performed that piece, we done another piece called Pits, Players and People. And by the end of this, we ended up winning 3 awards at the Culture Awards, North East Culture Awards. We won all 3, so we took a full sweep, a clean sweep.
Yeah, nice.
And I don't think I'm not sure if it's ever been done before. I'm not sure. I think maybe check that fact. But I'm sure it hasn't ever been done before.
Well, it's a flex anyway.
Especially within our first kind of year as well, of coming around and starting as a new company, for us to take all 3 awards was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to us.
Do you think performing Mother Courage at that time was like the perfect time to perform Mother Courage, as in what's going on around the world?
100%. I think we say it every single time when we talk about Mother Courage with each other, because we always talk about like kind of how fun it was and stuff like that, but we always say when we're sat there, we're going, we've done that at the perfect time that it had to be done. And even a lot of audience members that came up to us after the show, they'd say, wow, like what is happening in the likes of kind of Gaza and stuff like that at the moment is so relatable to what you showed us on stage, and it switches a lot of people on. I know that a lot of people are ignorant, not out of choice, like kind of it's easier to be ignorant of what's going on in the world than to actually look at what's going on in the world, because it's scary. But then coming to see a theatre piece, it's a lot easier to kind of understand and go, oh right, okay, this is kind of what's happening. You can show audiences out without going, switch the news on, switch that news on, see what's going on that telly there.
It's more casual.
It's a bit more casual, and they start to understand it a lot more and stuff like that. And I do believe that theatre needs to be that mouthpiece, because of all of the different kind of stories within not just journalism, but kind of all of the different news channels depicting different versions of events and what's going on and stuff like that. I think it's very important to get a source from theatre, 100%, because it's real. It's what you're seeing is something somebody maybe wrote 100 years ago. Yeah. And now it's still relatable right now, because the world
relevant.
It's so relevant.
It's so relevant, and it also puts them in a place that forces them to sort of forget the outside world.
Exactly.
And focus on the issues that are being presented on that stage. And then the effect that they can have on a person is like exponential.
And it even teaches us as actors as well, because when we create projects, we have to do a lot of research. Like, it's kind of, our director he's phenomenal, honestly. He's absolutely phenomenal. He hate saying it, but he is. He's brilliant at what he does. But he makes us research. He doesn't go right, because he's a very clever intellectual man, but he doesn't come to the table with all of this kind of piece of paper and go, right, this is the research, this is what we're doing, this is this. He'll get us to look at certain points within, like, so we know Brecht, we looked at the 100-Year War and stuff like that. We looked into that and what was going on then, and we were the ones that had to research that. So when we go to play a character, it becomes a lot easier to play that character because you can attach yourself to moments in time. That was kind of from the research and stuff like that, and it's an incredible way to work. It really is an incredible way to work, and then we get educated as well.
Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day, yeah. I'm 33 and I never thought I'd gone back to school.
Bit of homework, you know.
Yeah, a bit of homework, We get sent homework every day. But it's good. Yeah. It keeps us on our toes and it keeps us thinking as well, like all the time about, would this character have done this because of what we know about the research in this time, if that makes sense. And then we can flow through a story a lot easier because we know what's happened, if that makes any sense.
And just go back, sorry Alex, just going back to that sister company earlier, I'm not wrong, they're based in Cape Town, South Africa?
They are, yeah, so they're based in Cape Town in South Africa. They're called Ensemble.
Wow.
And they've performed everywhere. So obviously Mark started in Cape Town and helped these guys because obviously everything that was going on with the likes of apartheid and stuff like that was like really disgusting behaviour, what was happening. And a lot of people didn't get what they deserved, and theatre wasn't a massive thing and stuff. So Mark went over to Cape Town and he built this company, and this company's been going for years now, and you've got people coming out of it. Like there was Mandisi who ended up coming to show us, and he was a composer. So he came from South Africa to come help us with Mother Courage and stuff like that. So we're getting to work with all these different people. There was Lungello, who was our choreographer, and obviously African dance is a lot different, and because we had a lot of African people there, like South African people there, as well as Piagas, we had to learn their kind of style of moving, but they also had to learn our style of moving. So that was really fun. We get to explore a lot of different kind of avenues through Mark's connections more than anything. But the likes of Paulina, who played Mother Courage, she played me mother, and to stand next to a lady like that, and I've never really been intimidated by many people on stage because I always seem to play these angry characters. But she stepped to us on one scene and my heart just went and she just stepped right in front of my face, and it was so scary, but it was real. And that's the hardest thing about me is acting, is make it real, make people believe what's going on, and make it relatable to everybody that sat watching the show and stuff like that. So working with her was incredible for me. And everybody else really, and she's a massive opera singer, so she taught us all to sing as well, and he's got so many connections that it's unbelievable. There's people that he brings in that I never in a million years, when I wanted to be an actor, thought that I would have the chance to meet, coming from Horden.
Going back to the making it real thing, what are your top tips for people who are wanting to make their acting decisions and make it as real as they possibly can? So they're not playing a character, so they're
so playing a character is not really what you want to be doing. You want to make the character yours, if that makes any sense. So before I started with Ensemble 84, I done Commedia dell'arte, and I was a pantomime actor, and I was very flamboyant and over the top and dramatic all the time. And then I joined Ensemble 84, and Mark must have saw us coming from a mile away, and he must have went, oh, this is going to be tough. But he's honed us in, and he's made us kind of understand that before you deliver a line, you need to understand this character and stuff like that, and don't play an emotion. If you're meant to be sad, don't just, oh, I'm sad. Don't play an emotion, play the text. That's what you need to be doing. It's what we get taught a lot of the time, is make it real and talk to the audience. A lot of people will perform over the audience, and it's like, I am in a show now, I am an actor, you are an audience member. Where we get told maybe not to do that as much. We want to involve the audience as much as possible. So it would be exactly like this. And this was the struggle for me, was to go from being this massive overdramatic performer in Commedia dell'arte to having a conversation with a random person. Yeah. Because that's all it is. You want to just look into the audience and you just want to have a conversation with them. That's all they're there for. And a lot of people get scared to go on stage, but the audience don't want you to fail. They paid money, they don't want you to fail. They want to kind of come and they want it to be successful. But I would say the biggest tip is don't build this character up. Don't be like, oh, he should have been this, he should have done this when he was a kid and stuff like that. Kind of, you are the character, so make that character you, if that makes any sense at all. And speak the words that are spoken rather than putting emotions into them too much. Just talk like we're having right now.
Yeah.
Just having a conversation.
Pretty casual.
Yeah. I could be Brodie, I could be Eilif, I could be anybody right now, but we're just having a conversation. Do you know what I mean? And I could have had this all wrote down somewhere else, and before I came here, and now I'm speaking to you. This could be my script right now, but that's what it is. It's about making it natural.
But just to clarify, we are interviewing Brodie.
We are
You haven't
interviewing
brought any
Brodie.
other
Yeah, we are
character
interviewing
today,
Brodie
right?
today. Yeah, but he's taught us honestly. He's a fantastic man. He's tough. Don't get us wrong. He is tough, and he will. But the reason he's tough is because he wants the best version of you on that stage that you can be, and you know that he is, because he'll come after and he'll be really nice and stuff like that. But when you are there to do a job, he will make sure that he hones you in to what you need to do, and he's absolutely incredible at it. I never in a million years thought that I'd be a naturalistic actor and do naturalism, do Shakespeare and that sort of thing. But it kind of shows you the man. He's going to hate us saying this because I say it every time I go on anything, but he started as Sango and he didn't have to come to Horden. He didn't. He probably made enough money. He's got enough of. He worked at RSC for ages. He's got such a platform that he didn't have to do what he done, and I think that really shows the kind of guy that he is. That he came to a deprived area like Horden where we have nothing. We really did. We had absolutely nothing. Thatcher closed the pits. So, like there was nothing there. That destroyed everything that was happening in Horden, and this random guy just came to Horden and built this theatre and just went, right, I'm going to get these participants and I'm going to teach them how to act. And he taught us all that acting. From where we first started to where we are now is unbelievable. I never thought in a million years that I'd be performing at
In
live
such
theatre.
a short amount of time
In
as
such
well.
a short
Yeah,
amount of time, yeah.
What do you think it's done to the community of the community of Horden?
I think it's built it. I feel like we're getting back to where we need to be, because the people of Horden I'm from Horden myself. I've lived there my whole entire life, and the people of Horden are lovely, absolutely fantastic people. But because there's nothing to do and there's nothing going on there, crime surges. Do you know what I mean? A lot of things go on within Horden because of that. But I remember this. So we done Pits, Players and People. So I've talked to you about what Pits, Players and People is a piece that we created. So we devised this piece, and it's around kind of, I think it's a storytelling of 100 years of the pits and kind of when the pits started and how it was sunk and then what happened and things. And we go through how many people died in the pits and the celebration of everything. Then we go to the closing of the pits, and it's really a celebration of the area is that piece. And I remember we done this piece, and I'm from a little rough estate within Horden, which has got a few rough people around there as well. And I remember I went to take my dog for a walk, and this guy, he's called Belly.
Okay.
Hi Belly, if you see this. And he's not a theatre goer at all. He's like this really, I'm a man, and kind of, he doesn't watch theatre. He won't like listen to music, that sort of thing. And I remember I was walking across the field with my dog, and he came up to us and he was like, oh my God, I came to see the show. I came to see like kind of Pits, Players and People, and what is that? Like, what he's doing down there? And he was just so kind of enthralled by everything that was going on down there, and the actual story of the piece. And he says, you need to pick that piece up and you need to take it around everywhere, because that story needs to be told. And this is a person that never goes to the theatre. He's never stepped foot in a theatre before. He didn't even know what a theatre was. And now he constantly says, when's your next show? When's your next show? So to establish a theatre in Horden and bring back like a sense of community, I think is probably the main goal for what Ensemble 84 is trying to do. Obviously create unbelievable pieces and exceptional actors in the same kind of breath, but I think that's the biggest thing. I think Mark can see the hole that's been made in Horden because of what happened, and I think it's about time that we start to build it back up and start to look at it as a place where people can thrive, and people like me can actually go do acting, because I never would have had that opportunity if Mark wasn't there. Like, other than me pantos and things like that I got to do beforehand, there was nothing there. And I remember hitting a phase where I went for an audition for the Sears Brothers film. Danny Boyle was
Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle was directing it, And I went for this audition and I walked in and I was the only guy there with hair. And my agent had sent us at the time. And I was the only guy that had hair. And I was like, why am I here? And I didn't get to get up audition. I didn't get part of any workshops. And I had a bit of a breakdown coming home. Because I was like, and I was thinking to myself, what's the point? Because all I was getting was seasonal work. I was just getting pantos at Christmas. And yeah, it was great. But I couldn't afford to live like that. So there was a time in my life where I went, you know what? Unfortunately, I love what I do, but because of the area I'm from, I can't afford to go live in London. I can't afford to go to all these fancy universities in London. So I went to make a decision about just quitting, completely throwing everything away. I went to university and stuff like that, so all of that training was just, I was thinking about just leaving go of it. And I was in the gym, and I walked out, and I'm a big believer in fate. I'm a massive believer in fate. And I walked out, and this lady came towards us with these leaflets, just toddling towards us like this. I was like, hi. She was like, have you seen it? And I went and put them on the desk, because I work in the gym as well. And I went and put them on the desk, and I read it, and I looked at it, and it says, Ensemble 84 is auditioning for professional actors to do a training program. And I was I was like umming and ahhing, because I was like, I'm already a professional actor. I wasn't a professional actor. I was pantos. I've done most of the Northeast kind of pantos and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? It's like a last kind of hoorah sort of thing. Let's give it a go, and we'll see where we go from there. I'd not long had a daughter, and that had kind of put a massive strain on everything. Like everything. So I was kind of like, right, do I have to go be a normal person and go get a proper job, is what people
We've
call it.
all been told that a couple of times.
A proper job. So I was thinking, is this the time? I'm in my 30s. I've drove myself into the ground. Is this the time to go? And then I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's go for this audition. Let's go for it. Stupidly, I'd researched who Mark Dawnford Mayer was before I went for the audition, which I shouldn't have done.
No.
So I didn't research kind of a couple of days. I got an audition, and the day of the audition, I went, right, who is this guy and who is this company? And all of this full thing came up about Ensemble and about him kind of working at the RSC and stuff like that. And he's a massive, like, Shakespeare advocate and things like that. And I was sat in that, and it must have been half an hour before my audition. I went, okay, this is a bit big. This is a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. But I really wasn't into going into training. That was the biggest thing. I didn't want to do that because I'd been to university. And now I can honestly tell you, it was the best thing that I ever done. Was being trained from the basics again. It was the best thing ever. So they just actually had a new intake of actors, and then they do like a 6-week paid program. So we are like Ensemble 84 is the only place, I think, within the UK at the moment. It might not be the UK. Don't quote us on it. But it's especially definitely in the Northeast, where you are paid to train to be an actor. That doesn't happen. Like, kind of, some of you guys might be at university now. You take out a loan to go to university to learn your craft. This is a completely different process.
Especially in an area that's really struggling.
Exactly.
This is exactly what the sort of artistic people of sort of Durham need.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of, I always say, if we all move to London, what happens to the Northeast? Do you know what I mean? If we all go to Manchester, what happens to the Northeast? Like, because you go there, you'll train there, you stay there. I've got a lot of friends that went to university down in loads of different universities in London. And now that's all they
never came back.
Never came back. And I always said, I was like, I will not do that.
No.
I will try and create something within the Northeast, and I will stay around the Northeast. Part of it was because I was getting a lot of parts. So I was kind of, I'm a big fish in a little pond.
Well, it's a lovely place. No bias.
But it's a big issue in the Northeast now, is we need more things like Ensemble 84. I really do believe that, kind of being paid to train, and then being paid to, like, there's days we go in and we sit and we read a Shakespeare play, and we just sat around the table reading a Shakespeare play. We get paid to do it as well. So it's unbelievable what Ensemble 84 is doing for people that come from deprived areas and that want to act but just can't afford it. Because that's the biggest issue, is universities cost an absolute arm and a leg at the moment.
We do know
that.
We
have first on. We know.
Yeah.
We face the debts a bit later in life, though. But
well, I'm still paying off my student loans at the moment.
So I don't want to think about student loans.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I'm not talking about that.
Getting a bit miserable now.
But that's a great thing with Ensemble. Like, you've got people that we've got one girl who, I'm sure she sat She was at university doing biology or
Wow.
something like a proper like degree. Like she's a really, really smart individual, and she just gave it up because of this opportunity. She knew that this was too good of an opportunity to kind of give
Yeah.
up. And then within that space of a year, we've worked with Lee Hall.
Brilliant.
I've got a lot there. Dulcie Scott. I don't know if you've ever heard of a lady called Dulcie Scott.
Maybe.
She's the costume supervisor or the costume design. She's been for Wicked, the film with Ariana Grande.
Oh, brilliant.
Um,
Just won an Oscar for costume design as well.
Exactly, yeah. So
Fantastic.
that's that
Wow.
lady, and she came in a couple of weeks ago to talk to us. So we
Brilliant.
got to meet her. She done the new June film. Yeah, she done all the costume for the new June film. And we got to sit in Mark brings these people in. Like, and we'd never get to meet them. In a
All this is in
million years.
Horden, wow.
And all this is
Yeah.
in. You want to come join?
Yeah, I might do, yeah.
We'll let you know when the
Bit
audition.
of a chin wag with the sort
audition.
of
Yeah,
the
so
celebrities of the
we
world.
do. We get to meet some insane people. Max Roberts, who pretty much created live theatre. Like he was the one that pretty much created live theatre. His wife is Janet Plater, and he's also phenomenal. So he was assistant director on one of the shows that we'd done, and he taught us lots of different things. So not only do we get to work with this amazing director Mark, but he brings in all these other people that we get to kind of get experiences off us, like often and speak to. Like I'm still starstruck. The day that I walked into a Methodist church in Horden,
Yeah.
right, and I went to go to the toilet, and Lee Hall just came this way, and I stood there and I went, "Whoa, my life's completely different, isn't it?" I was like, "You're Lee Hall?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You're in Horden?" He was like, "I am." I was like, wow. I was so starstruck by kind of the situation and stuff like that, and I can honestly say if I never went on Ensemble 84, I'd have never get them opportunities to meet these people in a million years, and I've learned so much from them as well, because they'll sit and they'll conversate with you, they'll give you advice, and it's great that you get to have that. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I think we've met loads more people. We've had fight choreographers come in and show us kind of how to fight.
And as you play the baddie quite often.
Yeah, when I
you're-
played ILIF, kind of had to. Well, I was quite lucky that I was a boxer back in my younger days anyway, but we got this fight choreography and we got trained in fight choreography. So now we can all go, yeah, we're trained in fight choreography, and it's just little daft stuff. Like right now, if somebody went like, kind of, I'm not going to do a sonnet, but if somebody came up to us now and went, right, you've got an audition. It's over here. There's your script. Do your script. Right, okay. I want you to do something from Shakespeare. Do a sonnet. I know that now. I can just pull that out the back of my head and stuff like that. And he really has kind of honed us into these absolute units of actors. If that makes sense. Like, we're still starstruck. Every day we walk in, we see the 3 awards on the wall. We're still like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
going on? Like, we've won 3 awards.
It's such a
and
short space of time. I really
Yeah.
can't believe
Yeah,
it.
we've
It's really
done-
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
two players, I think it was, Pitt's Players and People and Mother Courage was the 2 players that we done, and they just went, "You're brilliant," and we went, "Oh my god, thank you."
I'd say beginner's luck, but a lot of your work's really, really impressive. You're going to go on and
Yeah.
do such bigger and sort of better things.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff kind of planned in the works at the moment. We're going to be doing a classical Shakespeare piece on I'll give you the dates actually. I'll give you the dates of that. So we've got some previews on the 26th and the 27th of May. March, April, May, June. Yeah, May, June. I always get March and May mixed up. I don't know why.
Too similar.
Yeah, I'm an actor. I don't need to be knowing that kind of stuff. So 26th and 27th is the Shakespeare previews, which will be kind of cheaper tickets and stuff like that. So it really caters to
Based
people
in the Horden Church.
at the Horden Horden
brilliant.
Church as well. So the church that we've just purchased a new church, and this church is going to be built into a working theatre. So we're going to finally have a working theatre within Horden that people can actually come kind of see shows to.
Wow.
And I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
I think the first show will be the Shakespeare play that we do will be the debut kind of show within there. The dates for that, the 28th to the 6th of June are the actual performances. And then we move on to do Pitt's Players and People again. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, that's coming back around. And honestly, the feedback we've gotten from that one has been unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Especially from Belly.
Yeah, especially from Belly, yeah. It's just been a great experience, especially there's 2 of us from Horden, like literally centre of Horden that are part of the company. And a lady that's a little bit older than me, and then there's me, and we grew up in 2 different eras of Horden. So we batted heads a little bit kind of about Horden and what we thought of Horden until I'd done this play, Pitt's Players and People. and I found out about so much about my heritage and stuff like that, and I became so proud to be from Horden. And I think that's one of the biggest things about the company now is everybody is proud of where we are based in this place, and we want to build this area up a lot more because it's a deprived area, and we want success. We want success, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to sort of hear all the success that Ensemble 84 is
That's
having.
really cool. And the fact that it's
Yeah.
happened in such a short space of time, like, wow.
Mm-hmm. We're just supported by a lot of people as well. I think that's the biggest thing. I think everybody wants us to do good, whereas you have a lot of other companies kind of in the industry. It's very cliquey and stuff like that. So it's really good that we've got the support system around us to kind of push us forward as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And everyone put the dates of the Shakespeare.
Yeah, get the
convention.
Shakespeare.
Put that in your notes app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get them in your
Book your
notes.
tickets.
Get your tickets.
Especially for people's pits.
Yeah, Pitt's players and Pitt's people and players.
Pitt's
Try
people.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
I've tried about 100 times.
Try and get that one.
It's a fantastic show. Honestly, I would advise anybody to come see that one because you get to learn so much about the area you're from. And we're all Pitt villagers around here. And it's quite mad to see how much people don't know about the area that we're actually from. And we should be proud about it. We should be very, very proud about it. We ran Britain.
Yeah.
And the Northeast ran Britain. Like literally ran the whole of the UK at one point through coal. And it's crazy to think.
Well, it's
And
been
now Ensemble 84 will run it. No, I'm joking.
Run the world's theatre.
Run the world's theatre.
Brodie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on
absolute
the
pleasure.
podcast.
Yeah, no worries
Thank
at
you
all.
for taking the time to speak to us.
Yeah, no problem at all.
And I imagine we'll see you in a couple of weeks, couple of months to see your performances.
Yeah, hopefully at the Oscars sometime as well.
maybe. Well, I'll keep that channel on. But yeah, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Brodie, for coming on. It's been
No
an
worries
absolute
at all.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you
Cheers.
very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Into the Light is a place-based partnership with organisations across County Durham. It's funded by Arts Council England, Durham County Council, Durham University and the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. The Spotlight podcast is produced in partnership with Durham Sixth Form Centre.